Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Blender Easy, and in today's video we are going to create this sci-fi looping animation inside of Blender that is also with the help of geometry nodes and Eevee rendering system. So if you're new to this channel, then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. So without wasting any much more time, let's get started. So here we are in Blender. As obviously we will delete all of that, so simply hit A and simply hit delete. Okay, just like that. Then press shift A, go to the mesh, and we are going to select our cylinder. Then we will rotate it on x-axis, so press R, X, and then rotate it on 90°. Then press S, Y, and type 8, so it will scale it like this. Then hit Ctrl A and apply our scale. I'll press tab to go to the edit mode, and I'll press 3 to select my face selection tool. I'm going to select this face. I'll simply hit delete faces. Similarly, select this face, hit delete, choose faces, then hit A to select all of these faces, and then hit Ctrl R and simply increase the size of this, not size but number of cuts, and simply click on it. Okay, so now we have this kind of loop cuts. Then I'm going to select this and I'll go to the modifiers. I'll go to the add modifier and I'm going to choose subdivision surface, and we will choose level viewport 1 and render output also 2, and go over here and simply choose apply. After that, go to the modifier again, go to the search option, and we are going to search for this place and simply double click to apply. So as you guys can see, the displacement has been applied. Now we will go to the new texture, and in textures over here, the type we are going to choose clouds. So we are gonna get something like this. So size, let's make this up to 2. So we are gonna get something like that, and you can adjust the depth according to your needs. I'm going to choose 2 over here. Okay, this looks good to me. Let's select this, right click and choose shade smooth. Okay, now I need some kind sort of animation for this. So for that, what we can do, I'll press shift A, I'll go to the curve and I'm going to select circle, double click on it, and let's call it as path. Okay, then shift A and go to the empty, and we are going to select our plane axis, double click, and let's call it as move. Now select this move and go to our constraint, go to the add constraint and choose follow path, and over here target we are going to select path, and now I can move this along on this Bezier curve. Okay, if I hide this, as you guys can see, with the help of this I can move along with this curve. So let's make this 0 initially, and in timeline over here make sure that your start value is 0 and end value I'm going to make it 360 maybe, like that, or let's make this somewhere around 270. Okay, not much more. Yeah, 270 looks good enough. Then go to the start value and create one keyframe at offset. Go to end value, which is 270, and let's make this 100 and create another keyframe and go to the start, and if you hit play we are gonna get this kind of animation. Okay, this looks good to me. So our animation is ready. Now this what we call move or null object is gonna drive this animation. So for that you have to select this layer. You have to, layer means this cylinder, you have to go to the modifiers, and right now the coordinates, right now it's local, then choose object over here, and in object we have to select that move null object. And now if I hit play, as you guys can see, we are getting this kind of rotation. Then I'm going to select this path over here, or this path, press RR 2 times, and we can rotate it like this. Okay, this looks good to me. So now we are gonna get this kind of animation, and if you see at 270, this animation is gonna be in the form of loop. Okay, so this portion is ready, and now we have to add some geometry nodes over here to get this our proper look. So for that we need to create one extra object. So for that, let's press shift A, go to the mesh, and we are going to select one cube, and we will press S for scaling option, and we will scale it down, G, and let's try to move this somewhere around over here like this. This cube is going to be our object. Now let's select this cylinder, go to the geometry nodes, and let's try to adjust our geometry nodes. So let's join this area, right click, just join this area, and let's create another area over here and go to the not this mode, but over here we need to choose geometry node and simply hit N. Okay, so we have something like this. Let's zoom in our camera somewhere around over here so we can see that properly. Okay, now I'm going to select this cylinder and I'll click on this new. So our geometry nodes has been applied. Then first node we need to apply is join geometry. So hit space bar and type join geometry and bring this over here like that. Okay, so we will get something like this. Now after that I need another geometry. So for that what we can do, I can choose hit space bar and let's type instance on points over here like that. Okay, and along with that I'll type another one which is called distribute points on face. Okay, so click on it over here like this. Let's delete this instance on point first. Now let's select this and let's bring this to mesh, and this point should to geometry. Okay, so as you guys can see, now there we have this multiple points on over here, and they are moving along with this. But right now I don't want this structure. I would need this cube should distribute on this area. So for that we need instance on point. So let's bring this over here and bring this over here and try to adjust it over here. And now I'll add instance on points. Okay, and try to bring this over here. Okay, and now we need to tell them which point we need to distribute. So over here I have created this cube over here, which is this one. I need to bring this cube into this scenario, and let's make this geometry linked with this instance. Right now as you guys can see, the size is too much. So what you can do, simply go to the scale option and simply by holding shift bring down the scale totally like this. Okay, so we are gonna get something like this. You can select this and you can bring this scale to 1 as well. Okay, this looks good to me like that. And now if you hit spacebar, they're gonna move along with this as well. Okay, similarly what we can do over here, I'll hit spacebar and I'm going to type transform geometry over here and bring this at the top. Select this, move this to geometry and this to this geometry over here. Okay, now over here I'm going to create another area structure. So let's try to do that and bring this portion over here and bring this portion over here. So we'll get some another gap to create another structure. Now I'm going to type over here mesh to curve or like this and bring this in middle. So as you guys can see, we are getting this kind of line. Now I need to convert these lines to mesh. So I'm going to type line to mesh over here, or simply type curve to mesh and simply move this over here. Now we need to decide one mesh. So for that I'm going to choose curve circle, bring this over here and make it linked with this profile curve, but we are getting this weird stuff. So for that I need to select this radius and by holding shift I'm going to bring down this radius somewhere around like this. Okay, this looks good to me. And resolution, choose 1. I don't want much more portion over here. And now if I hit space bar, I'm gonna get this kind of structure over here, and this animation is gonna be in the form of loop. Now over here one thing is that we need to understand, if you go to the distribute points and if you increase the density, you can increase the number of points over here. So let's make this points 30. Okay, so this portion is ready, and right now almost our all geometry node portion is ready. Now we need to apply set materials for each and every one. So let's try to do that. And over here let's simplify this geometry. This main line over here which represents this over initial geometry with this texture of displacement, this portion of geometry nodes represents this line like structure, not this one but this mesh over here, and this distributes an instance represents this portion. Okay, so now we have to apply materials to it. So for that hit spacebar and we are going to type set material node. We will bring 1 over here, select this, shift D, bring 1 over here, shift D and bring 1 over here. But before applying our material, we need to create our animation of our camera, and we have to create duplicates of it. So for that, simply go to the layout mode over here, and select this. We are going to select this and we will minimize all of that. And now I'm going to select add modifier, and I'm going to apply mirror modifier over here. Okay, and bring this downwards. Then as you guys can see, they have created one mirror, but we don't want like that. So for that, I'm going to press shift A, and I'm going to choose empty, and I'm going to choose plane axis. Select this empty, double click, and let's call it as mirror. Okay, press 1 or 3 to go to the side view, I mean right view. Let's select this mirror GY, and by holding control we have to bring this properly at this point. Then we need to select this cylinder, and over here mirror object, we have to select that mirror null object and choose Y. So as you guys can see, we are getting this kind of structure over here. Okay, like that. And right now we need to animate our camera. So for that, press shift A, go to the camera, and I'm going to enable my camera over here like this. Okay, and we have to select this mirror over here. And if you see properly over here at this point, we are not seeing anything our point. So for that, what we need to do, we need to select this mirror, and let's try to bring this on top of the geometry node, or even top of that displace over here like that. So we are gonna get this kind of structure like this. Okay, so our this structure is ready, and now what we need to do is that we need to create duplicates of it. But before that, we need to try to add our camera and try to animate that. So I have already added our camera. So go to the top view and press Z and choose wireframe mode, and go to the camera settings, and let's make this X rotation 90 and all other rotations should be 0, and press GY, and by holding control I'm going to bring this camera over here, and let's create one keyframe at Y. I'll go to around 270, and I'll press GY, and by holding control I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to create another keyframe. Okay, and if you hit play, my animation is gonna be over here. And now if you hit 0, press Z and choose solid view, and if you hit spacebar, I'm gonna get this kind of animation. Okay, and press N over here, go to the view options and click on this camera to view, and zoom in our camera like that. Or let's not change this stuff, we will keep it as it is. Let's make this 0 only. Let's disable this option, and let's try to increase the size of this. Okay, this looks good to me, and let's enable this camera and let's hit play. Okay, so we are gonna get something like this, and let's hit 0 to get out of our camera view. Okay, now I need to create duplicates of this again and again. So what we can do that time, instead of this camera, we are going to select all of them, and we will shift to the new collection. So right click, new collection, let's double click, and we are going to call it as copy. And let's select all of this stuff except the camera. I'm going to select all of them and move inside this copy over here. Okay, now over here, shift A, go to the collection instance, and we are going to select this copy, press 3, and to go to the side view. And now we will press shift D, Y, and by holding control I'm going to bring this properly over here. Again, shift D, Y, and by holding control I'm going to move this over here like that. Okay, so hit 0. Now we are gonna get something like this, and now we will get this animation in the form of loop. Obviously we will see that how, but right now we need to add some colors as well as light to our animation. So first of all, press Z and choose render view. Obviously we are not gonna see anything because there is no light in our scene. So for that, shift A, go to the light, and we are going to choose point light over here like this. Go to the top view, let's press Z, and we are going to choose wireframe view so we can see properly, and press GY and try to bring this over here light. Okay, and go to the collection and move this to our this collection over here. Select this point cam and then point light, and by holding shift select this camera, then press Ctrl P and choose object. But if you see, we got something weird. So select this camera, then this point, press Ctrl P, object. Again, let's select this camera first. Select this point light first, and then by holding Control, select this camera, Control P, object. Yeah. So this light is now parent with our camera over here, and press 0 Z render view. And now go to the light settings and change the power to 100 like this. Okay, then select this camera point light over here and go to the object transform, then shift D and simply click over here, and now we can change the Y position somewhere around over here. Then select this point light, shift D and click over here and change the Y position somewhere around forward over here like this. Okay, so if you hit play now, we are gonna get different portion over here. Now let's select this point light, go over here and choose red color. Over here you can choose any color you want. I'm going to choose any random colors. For this one choose blue, and for this one over here I'm going to choose somewhere around green light over here like that, and I'm gonna get this kind of animation. Okay, and now we need to add colors to it, so let's try to add colors. So let's go to this copy collection, and we are going to select our cylinder on which our geometry nodes has been applied, and then go to the materials over here, and we will create first material, double click, and let's call it as cylinder. Okay, and we are going to choose somewhere around black color over here like this. Then go to the geometry nodes over here, and this cylinder is our main cylinder. You can hit 0 over here as well, so we can see all of our stuff over here. Press Z and choose render view, press N, go to the view option, and let's try to adjust it and lock aspect ratio. Yeah, this looks good to me, and hit N so we can see our entire stuff over here only. Over here in materials, I'm going to select this cylinder, so let's deselect it. So we are getting this kind of stuff, and for this cube I need another material. So let's select all of this, this portion which is our cylinder. Go over here, create another material, new, and let's call it as glow. Over here choose bluish color over here. Also in emission option, again choose blue color, and strength I'm going to choose 5 over here. And in render settings, enable this bloom and ambient occlusion. And for this instance over here, we have this set material, we have to choose glow. So now let's deselect all of that. As you guys can see, we are getting this glowing material over here. Okay, like that. And you can go to the material options, you can choose a little bit light color over here. Similarly, you can increase the strength as well, so you will get more glowish effect. Similarly, for this lime mesh also you have to apply different material. So let's create another material over here, new, and let's choose complete white material over here, and let's call it as lines. And over here we are going to select that lines material as well. Okay, and if you want, then you can choose different material as well, like this completely black color or over here, or you can choose this color over here. And then you can go to the emission option and you can choose emission of this as well. You can choose one as well. It's totally up to you that what kind of thing you want to create. And if you want to change this, what you can do, simply go over here, and over here in circular radius simply add 10 over here. So what will happen, it will reduce the size of that lines over here. And if you hit spacebar, we are obviously gonna get this kind of structure over here. Similarly, if you think that these cubes are very high, simply go to this cube options, and density I can choose 15 as well, so it will reduce the count of that portion like that. And instead of doing that, if you want, then you can go to the this curve mesh, you over here you can choose this glow as well, so you will get this kind of structure over here. You don't need this lines extra material. Okay, so this portion is also done. So let's go to our layout mode, and now I'm gonna go to my world settings, and color of this I'm going to choose complete black. I mean world environment, I don't want something like that. And now I need to add depth of field to my camera, so let's go to the camera options, and in render world also make sure that your depth of settings are there. Go to the camera settings, enable this depth of field, go to this option, and let's choose of stop to 0.3 or something, or let's say 0.5. Okay, and you can adjust the focus distance the way you want over here, like this. Over here I'm going to move this up to this, and f-stop, let's choose 1. Okay, and now I'm gonna get this kind of animation over here, and because of this depth of field over here, our animation is gonna be in the form of loop as well. Okay, like if I move my mouse, I mean this time indicator over here, and if I hit space bar, we will gonna get something like this. Okay, but if you see over here, there is one problem is arising. After this, we are not going to get this in the form of loop. So to get rid of that, what you can do, hit 0 to get out of this, and press Z and choose solid view again. And now I'm going to select this copy over here, which is this one. Okay, and press shift D, Y, and by holding control I'm going to bring this over here again, shift D, Y, and by holding control I'm going to bring this over here again like this, and hit 0, Z, and choose render view like that. And now if I hit play from here, I'm gonna get this animation continuously in the form of loop. As you guys can see, even after this animation looks like in the form of loop. Okay, so this depth of field is very important, so make sure that you're going to use that. And if you want, then you can select your camera over here, and you can go to the transforms, and you can rotate this camera on y-axis like this. Similarly, you can go to the camera settings and you can decrease the focal length. I'm going to choose somewhere around 30, so I'll get this kind of structure over here. And I'm going to rotate this camera on not y but not z but y axis. So create one keyframe at start and go to around 270. I'm going to make it complete 360-degree rotation and create another keyframe. Okay, so I'm gonna get this animation somewhere around like that, and this animation is going to be in the form of loop. Like after this, if I see, my animation looks like in the form of loop. Okay, so this is how you can create this kind of sci-fi animation inside of Blender.